Giuliani is being sued $1.3 billion by Dominion. The Dominion CEO says we had no choice.
We have no choice. Disinformation in elections is a huge problem. And what we are seeing right now, I don't think we've ever seen before. And it's affecting certainly our good name, and it's raising serious doubts in electors' minds across the country. And frankly, it's the only avenue that we have to rectify the situation.
Now, Giuliani's response was very similar to that of Mike Lindell. He said, bring it on. It'll give us an opportunity to go over all of this information. Now, Dominion began as a Canadian company, but it is now an American company. And in pursuing a defamation claim, the plaintiff, Dominion, is going to have to show that people like Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani acted with actual malice. That is, that they believed that what they were saying was false or that they had serious doubts about its veracity, but they said it anyway. That's a very, very high standard. And we'll see whether or not it will be met, but the good news is there'll be at least some discovery. And Giuliani put out a statement and said, and I'm quoting, Dominion's defamation lawsuit for $1.3 billion will allow me to investigate their history, finances, and practices fully and completely. The amount being asked for is quite obviously intended to frighten people faint of heart. It's another act of intimidation by the hate-filled left wing to wipe out and censor the exercise of free speech, as well as the ability of lawyers to defend their clients vigorously. As such, we will investigate a counter lawsuit against them for violating these constitutional rights, end of quote. Meanwhile, the Justice Watchdog announced that it will investigate whether any of the agency officials, quote, engaged in any improper attempt to have the DOJ seek to alter the outcome, close quote, of the 2020 election. Michael Horowitz, the department's IG, said in a statement, quote, the investigation will encompass all relevant allegations that may arise that are within the scope of the Office of Inspector General's jurisdiction. Has the jurisdiction to investigate allegations concerning the conduct of former and current DOJ employees. It does not extend to allegations against other government officials, end of quote. Whether or not they sought to conspire to interfere. Now, this is days after the New York Times reported that a top DOJ official conspired with Trump in the final days of his presidency to remove an AG in an effort to install somebody who would challenge the election results. According to the Times, Trump was considering firing the acting AG, Jeffrey Rosen, and replacing him with Jeffrey Clark, the acting head of the DOJ's civil division that was seeking to cast doubts on the election. So a judicial watchdog is going to probe whether or not officials sought to presumably unlawfully interfere with the election. Now, remember, President Trump did not go after Hillary after promising that he would go after her. One of the big lines was, lock her up, lock her up. And after he got elected, he said, she suffered enough. I got other things I want to do. I'll talk to my supporters about this, but I just don't think I want to waste my time going after her. Isn't it amazing that never comes up? I watch a lot of CNN and MSNBC, lordy, so you guys don't have to. Never comes up. I would have thought one person would have said, well, you know, after Trump got elected, despite this line at his rallies, lock her up, he didn't pursue her. And said publicly he wasn't going to pursue her. So